These are both service medals given by the Canadian Armed Forces.
Bashir Jamal Zada has a box full of medals and memories, and not all of those memories are good. He is part of a small, vital group, Canadian citizens of Afghan origin, civilians selected by the Canadian military at the outset of the war in Kandahar for their language and ability to decipher an inscrutable Afghan culture. More than interpreters, some of them eavesdropped on insurgent communications. Others, unarmed, went into the community to gather intelligence on the Taliban, a dangerous cat-and-mouse game that took its toll.
In Canada, nobody knows about our team, about our group.
65 Afghan-Canadian advisors were hired by the Defense Department, and many of them served multiple tours, returning 5, 6, even 7 times.
I wanted to basically help two countries that they belong to.
They were trusted, given security clearances, code names to protect them from Taliban retribution. Some were assigned to work with the elite special forces, and for Canadian commanders, the advisors were indispensable.
In many cases, what they picked up on those radio transmissions saved Canadian and coalition lives by interdicting perhaps any type of an attack.
It was dirty, dangerous work. For Bashir Jamal Zata, the worst day was June 22, 2006, an almost 18-hour road trip to get back to the safety of Kandahar airfield.
When we got to Maiwand, our convoy was hit by an IED. Basically, the vehicle behind our vehicle.
And then, hours later, the convoy was hit by a suicide bomber, leaving 1 soldier wounded.
And he lost his left hand, and blood was everywhere in our vehicle. Post-traumatic stress disorder, that's something normal for everybody who comes from a battle zone or a war zone. I have bad dreams most of the times. I had sleeplessness. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I cannot go back to sleep.
When Canada withdrew from combat in the summer of 2011, many advisors came home, only to discover, as federal contract employees, they were ineligible for the same federal PTSD and health benefits as soldiers. In fact, what they were told to do was to apply to provincial workplace safety boards. CBC News has documented the cases of half a dozen former Afghan advisors, some with cases stuck in the system for years.
Have we failed them? Yes, we have. Because I think we have not recognized fully yet the benefit, either as a federal public service or as an employer. We have not fully recognized what the solution needs to be for them.
The country's military ombudsman conducted a low-key investigation. The Defense Department knew in 2005 it needed rules governing the use of civilians in war zones. It developed a draft policy, but it did not implement it until 4 months after the war was over.
It's hurting. It's really hurting. Our group was treated like they didn't exist.
Marie Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.